Hello, amazing people. How you guys doing today? Like I always say, I'm always very, very happy to be in your midst. Okay, so still on the Ooni of Ife's palace gist that is coming out at this time. Okay, so we are told at this time that the Giesi ruling house has is rumored, to have, waded in into the current challenge between Ooni of Ife and Queen Naomi, and this specifically has to do with the three conditions purportedly laid down by Queen Naomi, before she can return back to the palace as demanded by Kabiyesi himself. Don't forget that this is not the first time that the Gese ruling house is wading into a dispute and altercation between these two people. Very recently, you recall when Olori Ashley made that very unguarded statement regarding prince being the crown prince. You recall that the Gise family, especially the elders of Gise family, they rallied around immediately. They summoned Olori Ashley, and she was compelled to do a public apology, not just to Queen Naomi, but small Tadenikao. That is to tell you the level of the seriousness and how dispassionate they can be when they are handling issues. They have been very fair. They have been very kind to not just to Queen Naomi, but to Tadenikao as well. Okay, and they have always been there to protect their son, the Kabiesi, whose reign is currently on as we speak. And don't forget that they had a lot of a struggle, to get to this position where KBC is today. They fought it out with some other ruling houses, okay? Like the Lafogide, the Oboru and the others. It was a very, very keenly contested fight. And as God will have it, Ooni of Ife, prevailed amongst every other person. Okay. And since then, we've had one or two issues, here and there, but Gese ruling house, you give it to them. They've always been there, not just for the king himself, but for Mary, Olori, Naomi, and Tadenika, like I said. So the three conditions that we are talking about, for those of you who have not heard them, number one is the fact that Queen Naomi is saying, that if she's going to come back to the palace at all, she has to be announced to the whole wide world. I think I agree to this. She deserves to be announced to the world. Okay. So number two on her list of conditions is that Ooni of Ife was not going to have kind of knowledge of the Oloris currently in the palace. Okay. Then the third one was the fact that she was insisting, that Ooni of Ife must, as a matter of urgency, divorce Olori Ashley. Okay, so these are the three conditions that the Gise family heard about, and they decided to wade into the whole thing. So they said Gise elders have reached out, to Ooni of Ife. By way of reaction, now they've reached out to Ooni of Ife, saying to him that he should cut down on the numbers of wives already in the palace and jettison the fantasy of bringing more, as he recently announced. You recall that not too long ago, I think immediately he came out of the that time he had that 7 days consecration, that he needed to speak to his gods, his fathers, immediately he came out of it. He announced to the whole world that look, more Oloris are coming. He did this in the presence of all the wives. You remember, right? So the Jesse ruling house is saying now that in order to help him meet some of the conditions laid down by Queen Naomi, they are suggesting that he should trim down the numbers of wives, to a manageable size of, let's say, two. Okay, maybe that could assuage, the feelings, of Queen Naomi. They said he should trim the present wife to two, to stand any chance of bringing Naomi back to the palace. Okay. They said this while reacting, like I said, to the recent conditions raised by Queen Naomi. Because in their thinking or in their assessment, they said in the assessment, they said Queen Naomi is a very confident woman, full of intelligence, wisdom, and obviously do have people, counseling her and advising her. Sure, sure. So they went further to advise that it is not sacrosanct or a condition precedent to marry many women before one can become an Ooni, nor is it a requirement for peaceful reign. We've always been told that okay, this wife that he marries, that sometimes it could be due to cultural or traditional obligation. It could be that the chiefs, are urging him to do this, to do that. There has always been one or two reasons, ascribed to why these wives are coming about. But the Giesi ruling house are saying now that look, the fact that you married so many women is not a guarantee for your peaceful reign or your longevity or whatever you want to call it. So this is one way of saying that what we have been hearing, that he's married these women because of traditional need, blah blah blah, the rest might not be entirely true, if you ask me. After all, in their opinion, they are saying Obasijwade, who was there before him, I think had like three legal wives, if I'm not mistaken. The Sultan of Sokoto, the same, that is if my memory serves me right again. Okay. So we understand that the numbers of wives for an Oba could also vary across tribes, culture, and religion, or it could just be an individual preference. I think what I'm saying here, for our dear KBC, I think he has something to do with women. It's fair to say at this time that he likes women naturally. He has a very natural propensity, to want to just be with as many women as possible. This is he has this strong proclivity to want to do this, and it's within his right, really, because it's not just an ordinary mortal like you and I. He's the spiritual leader of the entire Yoruba race. I mean, he's a great Oba. I mean, of very, very high repute, and I mean, he commands respect. So I mean, he has the muscle to want to maintain and cater for as many women as possible. So if this is what he has proclivity for, who are we to question that? Okay, maybe what he's thinking is that instead of having concubines all over the place or having girlfriends, chains of girlfriends all over the place, he would rather put all of them, within the proximity of his palace. If that is his wish, why are we to question him? After all, he's the Oniorisha himself. I mean, the Ojaja the second, the Ooniofife. So, like I said, this could just be his preference, So we cannot question that. So that is why, at this time, the Gese elders, the Giesi ruling house, have come out to say, if you want to stand a chance of bringing Queen Naomi back to the palace, you must, reduce the current size to a manageable size of two, maybe two, and they are saying that there's nothing sacrosanct about having many wives. It's not a guarantee for peaceful reign. It's not a guarantee for longevity. It's not a guarantee for anything. So they are urging, if you can, if you want to stand a chance, trim your current harem of women to a sizable number of two. That is what they are saying. But again, how possible can this be? Acknowledging the fact that just a few days ago, KBC came out to announce to the world that more Oloris are coming in. And the rumors have been going right all over the social media, with names that have been uh, purported to be some of the new Oloris that are coming. We've heard of Princess Peju, we've heard of the mother of one of the daughters, we've heard of some people have even mentioned Lady Badmos. Some have called another name Lola, a lot of plethora of names like that. So, like we always say, I don't live in a palace, so I cannot be too factual. I cannot be too. You don't expect that what I'm telling you now is absolute truth, because it's all within the realm of speculation. It's all within the realm of the rumors, the alleged stories that is making the rounds, that is coming out of the palace at this time. So you may do well to want to take this with the benefit of some doubt, okay? You may want to take this with some pinch of salt, as they say. So this is what we are hearing at this time, and I'm so happy that no other people than the elders, the Giesi elder themselves, have waded into this matter, telling the Ooni of Ife to his face, if you want to stand a chance out of these three conditions that have been given to you by Queen Naomi, cut down the numbers of the wives that you have now to two, and possibly jettison the idea of bringing in more women. So this is what we had at this time. And we said we have to bring this to you like now. Okay. So if you have listened to this story and you have enjoyed it, or you have comments to make on this, I'll be so glad to hear from you. So leave your comment in the comment section. God bless you. I'm going to see you very soon. Bye bye.